Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Ian with Out of This World Reader, and today's video is going to be a book chat on The Year Before the End by Vidar Hogstad. This is a book that the author and publisher reached out to me to give an honest review, and I can say that honestly, I was really surprised by this. I didn't think that the author could fit everything I was looking for into this tiny little book. Like, it's only 230 pages, but somehow, he fit everything I was looking for into this little sci-fi packed action adventure. It's got it all. I feel like this is just like a hidden gem in the kind of sci-fi genre. But in this video, I'll just give you my brief thoughts on this, and I won't go much into depth because it is, like I said, very short, and I feel like the best experience is kind of going in with little knowledge. So let's just jump right into my thoughts. But first, let me give you a little background about what's going on here. This is a sci-fi debut novel taking place in our solar system in the near future, where a mercenary captain comes across a conspiracy kind of taking place between the Mars separatists and the Centauri to kind of split the whole solar system between the two of them. And who are the Centauri, you're asking? Well, they're an ancient, or not ancient, but they're an alien being kind of in a different system. I believe the Centauri system. And they provide Earth with these plans to kind of allow them to fully kind of encompass the whole solar system through these gates. And they also give them plans to build a gate to connect them with the Centauri, and that gate finishes in less than 1 year. And this conspiracy kind of takes place, and the mercenary captain takes on this job to uncover whether the conspiracy is true or not. Captain Zara and the crew of the Black Rain must break into one of the most heavily guarded stations in the system and get some information and evidence and figure out what's going on. And that's all I'm going to give you because, like I mentioned, this is 230 pages, and if I give you any more, it might ruin the experience. Like I mentioned, I was really surprised by this. I didn't think that the author could fit everything in 230 pages. Like, some novellas or like short stories will include as much as you can, but for being a debut novel and to include kind of action and political intrigue, suspense, world building, it's got the whole shebang. And like I was just surprised at how it like all kind of played out throughout the story. Like, it played out perfectly, kind of just the setup of it, in my opinion. For my journey in this book, the plot is very similar to Andy Weir's kind of style of writing. It has a mix of both just real science and then science fiction, but this one I would say is mostly more science. There's several scenes in the book where he kind of picked fun of kind of like TV shows and what we're used to in science fiction and kind of played that out, and that would be probably my only nitpick about this book, is that it was a bit much at times, like the science aspects that were involved. And I guess I was really kind of wanting more of that, like, normal kind of sci-fi ships. They were a bit, but it was like, it's hard to explain because it was very interesting, because since I wasn't experienced with like what kind of a real spaceship would kind of be like, it was very interesting to just see what my mind would kind of ponder up and imagine from the way that he kind of wrote them out. But if you're a fan of Andy Weir's works, like I am, I would recommend this to you because, like I said, it's just that mix of just both science and just real or science and then science fiction, and it was really enjoyable. I mean, it's a really crazy plot. I mean, it'll go one way and then another and then just switch it up on you again. And that's what's crazy, like 200 pages, and it just kind of takes these kind of spins in a roller coaster. It was just crazy how like he played the whole story out, and he left it at the end kind of open for just more the series to continue on, which I kind of enjoyed. It wasn't that much of a cliffhanger, but I will be continuing on with the series. It almost reminded me of Artemis by Andy Weir, which is another book that I absolutely loved. but it was very fast paced and just action packed throughout. Like there wasn't much kind of like building up. It was just like a little bit, but mostly you would have like a fight scene, and then just like a couple pages later, just like it would continue on, and it was almost like it was just like a good mix of just suspense and then the action and fighting. And to put the cherry on the top, the banter between the crew it's really nice. I liked it. The humor, it was all good. Like it was just like, how is this a debut novel? I couldn't understand how that was possible. The characters are all unique. They almost reminded me of Guardians of the Galaxy, as you can tell from my t-shirt today. But each one was like, I was able to kind of connect each of the crew with maybe one of the different characters in the Guardians of the Galaxy. Grant, one of the characters that you'll encounter, almost reminded me of Rocket, like a mix of just like Rocket and Drax. And if you read it, like you'll know why. And if you've seen Guardians of the Galaxy, like you'll understand the comparison that I kind of drew from that. But I loved the Guardians of the Galaxy, so that made the enjoyment so much better. But each of the characters come from different backgrounds from across the solar system, so it just really makes this crew very kind of like similar to Guardians of the Galaxy, like a mercenaries coming together. They want to do a little good, a little bad, but or kind of like a mix of both. So if you're a fan of Guardians of the Galaxy, definitely check this out. It also manages to include a little bit of world building. It does a good job describing the different stations and kind of worlds. Like we begin in like on Mars, as like it's been colonized, in the domes that you'll encounter, and there's like a little bit of world building. But the best thing that I found was just the name of the ships and the stations. Like we have like the Jolly Roger and the Black Pearl. Like I thought those were funny. There's a scene in the book that I don't want to give away that was just absolutely hilarious, involving those kind of ship names, and it just had me like laughing out loud. And it also like manages to kind of explain how like the gates work and like how they play a role in the solar system. So like it went like mostly action and kind of like suspense, but it also included kind of a little bit of world building, which was nice. For my overall thoughts, I really think this is a hidden gem, a diamond in the rough among the sci-fi kind of genre for being a debut novel. I ended up giving this 3.5 stars. And that was mainly because of just like that little bit of too much science at times, but that was very little. And for most of the story, it's very grabbable for anybody from any background. I have a little bit of background in physics and kind of chemistry and all that, so I'm a nerd basically, so I kind of know a little bit about what was going on. This could be a perfect palate cleanser after getting through a giant kind of sci-fi other book like Dune or something like that. Just a little bit of break where you still want a little bit of sci-fi, but you don't want like something large. I can't wait to continue on with the series in the future. I'm interested to see where it goes. And if this next book is just as short but packs a punch like this one, it'll be just like a perfect quick read. Just get me through. Maybe I'll kind of read Dune or something like that, or another large sci-fi book, and then throw this in there, and then sci-fi, you just can't get enough of it. But that's all for today's book chat. I hope you enjoyed. Please go check this book out. It's a hidden gem, like I mentioned. But if you want to connect with me on social media, I'll make sure to leave those down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss out on another adventure. And as Ellie always says, adventure is out there. So I'll catch you next time. Bye.